Don't look now, but the Jacksonville Jaguars are for real, and it is real. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that they're a real good football team, and we'll talk about it more here today on Locked On Jaguars.
You are Locked On Jaguars, your daily Jacksonville Jaguars podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
It is your team every day here on Locked On Jaguars. We thank you for making us your first listen on the Locked On Jaguars podcast, which is a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, which is the #1 sports podcast network. We appreciate you making us your first listen. I am Tony Wiggins. Shout out to the everydayers who join us here each and every day, wherever you get them podcasts, whether you watch or listen, we will be right there every time, giving you a show like the one today that is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. All bets are on for the Jacksonville Jaguars to continue their march to the playoffs as they dispatched the Jets yesterday 48-20. I'll tell you why this is real, and it's not going to be just because they beat a bad team. It's because they look like a good team who beat a bad team. We'll go through all of that. We'll start by saying that it is exactly what it appears to be. In the middle of the show, we'll talk about possibilities, how they're infinite, long and short term for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And at the end of the show, I'll tell you why we scare people. A lot of people out there talking about who teams don't want to play. Well, the Jaguars are one of them. Let's get going here at the top of the show. Once again, thank you for joining us. Shout out to the everydayers who join us each and every day. Shout out to me, O'Brien and Marquise Ogden for the squad show last night. I was a little bit under the weather. I think it kind of turned a little bit, so I feel a little bit better today. The Jacksonville Jaguars are 10-4. Another victory Monday. I just heard Liam Coen's presser in the media room with the local media via TV, obviously. Listen, I know that there's a tendency to say I need to pinch myself. Not me, but everybody else. They need to pinch themselves. I'm going to tell you, you can pinch yourself all you want to, man. You ain't waking up because it's not a dream. It is the real thing. The Jacksonville Jaguars are a very, very good football team. I did not come to that conclusion based on a 28-point thumping of the horrible New York Jets. I came to that conclusion a couple of weeks ago when I saw how fluid they were, when I saw how easy it was to do simple things like 3rd and 6. Of course they're going to make it. That's when you start getting that feeling, as opposed to thinking, oh man, I hope we make it, or I wish we make it. No, you fully expect, you are surprised when the Jacksonville Jaguars don't convert on 3rd down. I think it was like 44% yesterday where they could, but that's all right. It feels like that 44% feels like 100% when the score is 48-20. And it's almost like, oh, man, we could have hit that if you just did this. That's all right. No harm, no foul. The defense will hold them and we'll get the ball back. When you start to feel and have the expectations of the way fans have when their teams are good, and I'm not talking about just good right now or good this week. I mean, no, we have a good thing moving. Our program, I know they use that word in college football all the time, but our program is on solid foundation. That's what I get. And the more you hear Liam Coen talk, and the reason why I absolutely did not wake up and do your standard Victory Monday show today is because I wanted to hear exactly what he was going to say today, right? And I'm more convinced even now that not only is he the right man for the job, that's obvious, but they get it. They understand. They really get it. When he talks about these players playing for each other, when he mentions when he was asked about Sean Payton, and he talked about how he went down there when he was the coach up at Maine, and he goes down there and he's like, wait a minute, what's going on? And he learns from Dan Campbell and he learns from Sean Payton, and then he takes that and puts that into his stuff. See, we only sat here and talked about Sean McVay. Liam Coen has a vast knowledge of how a football team should operate. And they continue to tap into each and everything that they've picked up along the way. And this is something that a lot of people wonder, like, what is it going to look like? He's putting his own stamp on the Jacksonville Jaguars, but it does look familiar. It doesn't look like another team per se. It looks familiar from a macro perspective. And what I mean by that is, y'all know good football when you see it, whether it's college, whether it's high school, whether it's the NFL. It's either good or bad, right? Relatively speaking, about who they're going to play against. And the Jaguars play a good brand of football, a competent, educated brand of football where they know exactly what they want. And I'm going to give you a music analogy because this is what I do on Locked On Jaguars. Y'all got to just put up with it if you're used to it, all right? Dr. Dre, one of the greatest producers of all time, says the key to being a great producer is to hear something and to be able to get it on tape. Like, no, that's why he's such a perfectionist. Exactly what I'm hearing in my head. Most producers, and this is me paraphrasing what he said, most producers know what they want, but they settle. That's good enough. That's good enough. He doesn't. I just saw a video, I think it was from a rapper named The Game. The Game said, Dre will make you come to the studio every day and say the word "it" until you get it right. This is what the Jacksonville Jaguars, to me, do very well. They know what they want from a coaching staff perspective. They know how it's supposed to look. And they have been able to teach, motivate, and inspire for the team to actually go out and do exactly what they want and how they want to do it. And that starts with the relationship from the coach and the quarterback. Trevor Lawrence has a full understanding, and he can see the picture. Liam was just joking about how the clock almost goes down to zero each and every time. He said, that's football. And he joked with the media, said, man, y'all ain't going to let that one go about that clock running out. He said, it's football, man. It's football. A lot of pre-snap motion, a lot of reading. Remember they used to talk about those answers pre-snap? Trevor said that the one thing about learning the system is he gets a lot of answers pre-snap. Liam basically said today, ain't nothing different. I think the only thing that is different, I'll disagree with him a little bit. I think what's different now is that Trevor, he's not doing anything different to Trevor. I think Trevor just has a different level of understanding. So now it's probably a little bit less looking over to the sideline, and it's like, we're good. I got it. As Liam says, the cans. He gets the cans right? And that's the biggest difference. Along with Trevor Lawrence realizing you got to be Superman, you got to be Clark Kent. You can be Superman like yesterday when he took off running. That's when you put that cape on and you run that touchdown. Or you can be Superman when you float that ball up in the air to Parker Washington. That's when you can be Superman. Knowing when has been the biggest thing for Trevor Lawrence. And now you're seeing Trevor Lawrence play like a top 3, top 4 quarterback in this league. Yeah, I didn't say top 5. I said top 3, top 4 quarterback. And I think it's going to keep going. I don't see this thing changing. Obviously everybody has to stay healthy, right? But I think we have seen this team and Trevor Lawrence turn a corner that they're not going to turn back from. And the NFL better watch out. And I'm being honest with you. This team is here for real. It is exactly what it appears to be. This is what y'all have been asking for decades. And I know you got it a little bit with Brunell and that crew, and then you got it again with Garrard for a year or two, and then even with the boat, man, you got it. This is different. This is absolutely different. It didn't come when you wanted it to, but it came on time because right now the time is now for the Jaguars. I'll give you the possibilities, long and short term, and I'll tell you why there is no ceiling that I see on this team. I'm not promising anything, but just because I say there's no ceiling, it does not mean they're going to win the Super Bowl every year. But I do believe they have turned that corner into not only relevance, but upper tier type relevance. We'll discuss that and more here on Locked On Jaguars. All right, today's show sponsored and brought to you by Aura Frames. The holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every time. It's not just something you wrap, it's a way to share memories. And here's what happens, man. Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can preload the frame with photos before getting it. So when they plug in, the memories are already there. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles. Grandparents, parents, newlyweds, grandchildren, anyone who loves photos, you can capture those memories that will last forever. For a limited time, save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling carver mat frames. Named #1 by Wirecutter by using the promo code Locked On at checkout. That's Aura, AURA frames.com. Promo code Locked On. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours now to get it in time before the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. It's real. I'm talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, but I'm also talking about Locked On Jaguars and Locked On NFL. And I want to appreciate you again for making Locked On Jaguars your first listen of the day and Locked On, the #1 sports podcast. You already live your team every day. Now take it up a level and go ad-free. Join the Everydayer Club today and get Locked On Jaguars with no interruptions, members only Discord access, and more, all for just $5 a month or $50 a year. Look down in that description, man, and check it out. Tap on it and make sure you take advantage. Even get to our merch store. That's right. All right, here we go. Possibilities are infinite, long, and short term. Yes, I do believe the Jacksonville Jaguars can make a deep run into the playoffs, but you got to win the games, man, right? There ain't nobody out there that's going to blow the Jaguars out of the water, or somebody that may be a favorite of the over the Jags that in a game where it is insurmountable. And I mean that in both conferences. They have entered a territory where they got a legitimate shot. And I know any team has a legitimate shot, right? New Orleans won a couple of games they weren't supposed to win this year. Carolina beat some teams that they weren't. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when everybody's best on best. In the playoffs, do or die, you always wonder if you can deal with teams physically. The Jaguars can deal with teams physically. You always wonder if psychological, emotionally, if they can deal with people. And that used to rest solely on my ability to wonder what Trevor Lawrence was going to do in crunch time. You know what Trevor Lawrence is going to do in crunch time to me? That's when he shows up even better. And now that he has the foundation around him, now that he has the coaching, now that he has the players, the system, and the one voice, one thought mentality of this team, every single player, when my counterparts in the local media that go to the locker room, every single guy sounds like they're speaking the same language, like they read the same book, like they sat in the same class, like they believe in the same things. And to me, that's the sign that a team is where it needs to be. And then they happen to be a healthy bunch outside of course, Travis Hunter, who won't be back until next year. It's kind of coming along all at the same time. And even though they have different shapes and different body types, it's when you hear them on a microphone, they sound like the same guy. To me, that's by design. Believing in each other, trusting in each other. And that came from pressure, from a whole bunch of dudes that everybody thought were too nice, with the exception of Anthony Campanile. Of course, nobody thought Campanile was too nice. But to line all of this up and have that trust, I just think back to when it was early in the year. I think it was the Houston game. It was somebody, it might have been the Chiefs, where they were driving and Liam Coen, the defense was on the field, and Liam Coen was yelling, going crazy, and Camp said, "Hey, man, relax, we got it." You see, that's not insubordination. That's trust. That's believing in your work. And that's the coach being transparent enough to say that happened. That's like not having an ego, right? Your subordinate telling you to relax. No, that's what you want him to tell you to do. Because that means, look, man, we got this. Let me do it. I got it. Not let me do it. I'm going to do it. So watch. And it's almost like Liam's like, all right, let me see what you got. And they deliver it, right? So now the whole organization is basically saying, we got it. Don't worry about it. Watch. And you believe it if you're a Jaguar fan. You absolutely believe it. It is exactly what it looks like. 3rd and 5, you expect them to make it. 4th and 1, you expect them to make it. 55-yard field goal, you expect them to make it. They're on defense, it's 3rd and 6. You expect them to hold the other team to 5 yards or less. You need pressure, it's coming. You need a field goal made, done. You need a play on special teams, got you. That is what good teams do. And we haven't really seen that. You've seen some teams be able to do some of those things, but when they play a complete game like they did yesterday, you know, some people may think it's an overreaction like it's the Jets. Yeah, it was the Jets. But here's the thing. Did you see Carolina Panthers lose yesterday to the Saints a week after they beat the Rams? You see, that's that up and down roller coaster variance I'm talking about. You remember when I said that you want the Jaguars to get here, and you can't see me if you listen on audio. I just meant even Steven, baby. Maybe the ups are a little bit up and the downs just a little bit down, but for the most part, just think of it like a wave. You want them to stay at a certain spot because having an expectation that they're going to do a bare minimum is the sign of a good football team. When you hear people talking about how the floor of an organization gets raised, that's what we're talking about, floors and ceilings. The ceiling is infinite, but at the very least, you know the Jaguars are going to give you a playoff effort on offense, defense, and special teams. You know they're going to be absolutely prepared. You know they are aligned. They understand the talent on the team. They know exactly what people can do. And when you hear Liam talk about the sequencing of plays, why did you do this in the 4th quarter? He says, yeah, that's been there for a couple of weeks. He was talking about the screen pass to Travis Etienne. How they are always pressing towards the mark and doing things at the exact right time, not just reaching in the bag, trying to throw stuff against the wall to see what works. No, the work is in the details, and you see it each and every week. It's almost as if every single thing is thought of. Every single thing is intentional. Every single thing is what it is, and you just got to go out and figure it out and do it. Now, all of those close wins that they had early in the year, all of those close wins, now it makes sense. They actually were learning how to win, how to be more consistent, right? Here's an example for you. You ready? All right, I know you are. Grandma taught me how to cook. Taught me how to make like what they used to call old people food, like stuff that like takes all day and you have to go real slow with it. But my stuff wasn't turning out just right. But you know what she did? She showed me a sense of timing. No, you got to put the flour in here. You got to let that stuff cook off before you add the liquid, because if you don't, you get lumps in it. All of those types of things. You got the recipe, you're going through the motions, but you ain't got that it factor, Wig. You ain't got it, baby. And you got to learn how to do it. And that's what the Jaguars have taught their players. It's one thing to say it and talk about how you want to be. It's another thing to want to do it, but it's another thing to absolutely know how to do it. And once you know how to do it, it almost feels like it's the gift that keeps on giving, because now they look like a bunch, especially number 16, that absolutely knows how to win, how to hear that beat in their head, and how to get it right on tape. They know what that recipe is supposed to be like. They know what the timing of it is. And now they're serving you a meal, man. It tastes so good. And I'm going to tell you why we scare the hell out of a whole bunch of people around the National Football League, even if some of them don't want to realize it because they're real quiet right now. Shout out Richard Sherman, too. I'll get to that in just a second here on Locked On Jaguars. All right, today's show is sponsored and brought to you by FanDuel. Look, man, this game moves really, really fast on Sundays. Guys go in and out of the lineup. Momentum shifts happen. When you're watching the game, you got to be able to react to it in full time to make sure you maximize that. And with FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds. Every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift, a receiver gets hot, defense tightens up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. Even when one of your guys get banged up, like Javonte Williams got banged up last night, he had to sit out. You can make that adjustment right then and there during the game. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, visit FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you. Rocking and rolling here on Locked On Jaguars on Victory Monday. Let you know right now, the Jaguars scare a whole bunch of people. All of these folks talking about these playoff scenarios and looking at a 10-win team and going, oh, yeah, the Jaguars are right there. They're just passing by it. Everybody's talking about how scary the Houston Texans are. I'll tell you who ain't scared of Houston. The Jaguars ain't scared of the Houston Texans, not one bit. In fact, they probably wish you lined Houston up right in front of them in the playoffs, just to go ahead and show you. They ain't scared of them. The Jaguars feel like they let one get away from them against Houston, and Houston probably used it as fuel to fuel the rest of their season because they ain't lost since that comeback against the Jaguars, right? We'll see how that goes. All right, ain't nobody scared of them. I'm gonna tell you that right now, especially those dudes down there in black and teal. They ain't teal and black or whatever you want to call it. They are not afraid of the Houston Texans. But I do believe that people are afraid to talk positively about Jacksonville because there's tape out there. There's always a tweet for something where somebody's saying something negative. Now, I covered the team. Yeah, I said something negative because they weren't playing right. Yeah, I talked about Trevor. You know why I talked about Trevor? Because he wasn't playing right. And all it says is he was fine and he was playing right. Now you're sitting there saying he's playing at a high level. Yeah, there's a difference, right? There's a difference between how he was playing and how he's playing now. A lot of the reasons that he wasn't playing well, we see now weren't his fault. Some of them were things that he had to do. You can't give him credit for improving if the only reason he improved is because everything around him improved. No, he improved too. He improved. And I'll give him credit because he improved because he had to believe in his fourth offensive coordinator. He had to believe in his, he had to believe in his fourth head coach. Kind of. Third, if you consider, the half a season that Urban got fired. But you get my point. And in fact, it's just he had to improve. He had to get better, and he did. So we can give him credit. But some of y'all don't want to give him any credit. Some of y'all don't want to admit that you were wrong, that there was another level that he needed to go to. I'll admit that, yeah, I've been saying it the whole time. They should have got rid of the GM and they need to hire a new coach and clean house. That was an acknowledgement that they weren't doing everything. Go back to 2020, 2021, when I said they needed to insulate him and give him every resource possible as opposed to just giving him the ball and moving out of the way. It's more detailed than that. I don't care how talented a dude is. You will ruin him unless you treat him the same way teams treat good players. What did the Patriots do to Tom Brady? They built up everything around him, right? All of these great quarterbacks, they had stuff built up around them. But then we think this basketball, and this is the new generation where you just roll out there and let a dude's talent speak for itself. No, that's why coaches exist. Now, I know there's a lot of people that say, well, it's just football. It ain't rocket science. Oh, sometimes it is rocket science. I tell you what. Go down there and have the people that say that go down there and sit there and walk through a play and see how they'd look like elementary school students to a coach. I can't even do that. And I don't even try to pretend to sit there and do that and go, what coverage is this? I don't know what coverage it is. If it worked, it was the right one. If it didn't, it was the wrong one. I can do that to a certain extent. But there's some people that want to minimize everything and think that you don't have to do the things for Trevor Lawrence that the Jaguars have done. What's scary is now everyone, at least the people that really matter that go out on the grass, they realize, no, there was a lot to this. So you don't know everything that goes into winning. You think winning is just showing up until you actually have to do it, and then you actually have to be it. And now that they're doing it and they're being it, no, y'all need to celebrate. Let go of the fact that you thought everything was fine, and let go of the fact that you thought it was just a center. Let go of the fact that you thought it was just one guy. Let go of the fact that it's 53 people, and then you got to include the practice squad folks because they're bringing them up, and those guys are contributing. A culture of understanding, connectivity from the front office all the way down to people that don't even play, everybody in the building. This thing is, I'm telling you, man, we scare people. We scare people not only this year. I think everyone sees the Jaguars coming and they don't want to realize it. They just want to focus on Buffalo and maybe this is their year. What's wrong with the Ravens? The Chiefs are finally gone and can they come back? And you look up and teams like Jacksonville, New England, and Chicago that have done things the correct way are coming for people's heads. This is a changing of the guard. Shout out to Richard Sherman, who kind of admitted the reason why, well, he says one of the reasons why he's been trolling Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars is because the fans got on his nerves or whatever, something like that. At least you admitted it, that it's a back and forth between you and the fans. You were right. Trevor did need to step his game up. You were wrong if you thought he wasn't capable of doing it, though. Now, this is where it gets. If you thought he wasn't capable, if you thought it was just talent, he ain't as good. Shady McCoy is another one. Oh, he ain't as good as Trevor Lawrence is this, that, and the third. No, I always said he wasn't playing that way. But when you watch him close up each and every day, you knew he had the talent. I have said the same thing about Jameis Winston. People can say the same thing about Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. More bad organizations ruin good players than good players ruin bad organizations. But that's never the narrative. You know why? Because you can change quarterbacks, but you can't change owners. You can't change leadership from that perspective, like the billion-dollar leadership. You can change GM and coach, but if you don't have someone that understands how to build a proper culture and a proper football culture, all you got to do is just think about college football. If you think it's just about recruiting and players showing up, go see Kurt Signetti and come and get back to me. Thank you. I rest my case. That's what I'm talking about. And you can imagine how good that dude would do if you gave him some of the talent that some of these other people have. And right now, what we have is we have a hot quarterback with a hot coaching staff, with a fiery, hot organization and a team that nobody wants to play. And we're on to Denver. And I think next week they have a chance to show people exactly who they are. And I'm calling my shot right now. I almost did it last week. And it ain't because I got a bunch of medicine pumped into my system right now trying to make me feel better. I think the Jaguars are going to beat the hell out of the Denver Broncos next week. I think they're going to pop them right upside their head and put everyone on notice that Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars are a real thing. And you better hide your women, hide your kids, because on Sundays, saying nothing you ain't going to want to see, because it ain't going to be easy. It's going to be hard. Goes back to the barbershop. My man Jolo, God bless him, rest in peace, told a barber in there one day, young man, don't make me raise up out of this seat. And I remember the barber to this day, because he was younger, he kept talking. My man said, young man, don't make me get up. I'm telling the rest of the league right now, keep talking that smack. Don't make the Jaguars raise up out of that seat. Oh, don't worry, they're going to raise up anyway. This is where you talk your talk. Your football self-esteem should be mile high right now, not just for the present, but this thing is sustainable. It's going to last for an awful long time, but it's just 1 week at a time. We on to the mile high city next year. Next week, rather. This week coming up. All right, man. We're going to be running through this all week here on Locked On Jaguars. We're in a real good spot. A lot of people are not in the type of spot that the Jaguars are in right now. So I don't take it for granted, man. We want to make the everydayer a cool thing to be. The truest fan is the everydayer. You reward everydayers. I'm telling you right now, man, all you have to do is look down in that description. Look down in that description. And guess what? It'll be right there. Join the Everydayer Club if you never miss an episode. For $5 a month, man, members only Discord, ad-free audio. You get all of that. And then you also get access to our merch store. Show some support and some love, man. I appreciate y'all. Jaguar fans, 10-4. They got some blue sky in front of them. They absolutely can still get home field advantage in the playoffs, and I cannot imagine what that would be like. A lot of football left to be played, but let's play it. Line it up. Spot the ball, as my man James Gladstone said. I'm glad y'all spot the ball with me here each and every day on Locked On Jaguars. We appreciate y'all. We don't take you for granted. Thank you for joining me for 30 minutes.